everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to start a new topic in Java. Before starting the new topic, I will recover the topic which we have discussed in the last video earlier. So I had discussion about the what is the constructor, why we use the constructor, what is the work of the constructor, and the types of constructor. I have told you in Java we have three types of constructor. Mainly one is non-argument constructor where we are not passing any argument. Second is a parameterized constructor, and third is a default constructor. Default constructor is which is by default call in Java when you are creating the object of a particular class. So I have told you some about the some example as well. And we have seen the example where you are where you are not creating any constructor, just you are creating the object of the particular class. While you are creating the object of the particular class, the default constructor is invoked, that is used to initialize the your instance variable value. So we have seen this example already, and we have seen about one more example where you are passing two different value in a constructor, that is the parameterized constructor. Okay, so those type of things we have already covered. So now today I'm going to cover one more example where you are creating a constructor as a private. So as I told you, you can create a constructor as a public, private, protected based on your need, based on your example or code which is required in your project. According to that, you can create a constructor. Okay. Here I'm going to cover one more example that was a pending in the last video. So we are trying to create a project, we are trying to create a one Java class. There I will create a private constructor, and I will show you like why we cannot create, we are not able to create the private constructor. If you will creating the private constructor, what is it use and limitations, so those we are going to discuss in the current session. Okay, so basically if a constructor does not accept any parameter, as I told you, the constructor which does not accept any parameter, it is known as the non argument or non-parameterized constructor. Okay, so I will open the file here. This is my Eclipse, and here I'm going to create new folder. I will close all these files. Okay, so here you can create a new package. Here you will right click here, src new and package. So in this package I can give the name of com.new pack. New you cannot give because new is a keyword in Java, so you have to write the com.new pack, something, anything you can write of constructor name, but you should remember these things. Those are the predefined keywords in Java that you cannot directly name as a class name or package name, and those list I have already said in my lecture. You can see the video in my Java series video. Okay, so I'll click here Java finish. So यहाँ पे you will create a one more class. So that class you can give any name. So I'm giving the constructor non-argument and private constructor non-argument. This is my class name I have given. The naming convention also I had already discussion about it. You can see the video where I can explain about what is the naming convention we are following in the Java. So basically I will write one example. So there I will not pass any parameter, and I will create a constructor as a private. Okay, so you can use an access modifier like as you have used in your method, but you cannot use a return type in a constructor while you are declaring the constructor, because if you will use the return type, there will be the method. Basically constructor does not return any value explicitly, because you cannot write the constructor integer your constructor name, you cannot write the string your constructor name. Basically constructor return the instance variable value. Okay, it is used to initialize the instance variable value, but it is not having any, it does not having any return type, it does not have any return type like integer, float and string. Okay, so these things you should remember while you are creating the constructor. So what I did actually here, I'm going to write one parameter, one data type. I have given I. So I is an integer type. I is a type of integer value. So integer means you will write any positive number here. So here I'm going to write a private constructor. So this is the constructor name is same as your class name. Access modifier you can give, but you cannot give any return type. Okay, explicit return type, there is no constructor does not have any return type. Okay, but it returns the instance variable value. Constructor is used to initialize the instance variable value. Both statements are different. So what I did actually in this constructor, I have initialized the value I is equals to 5. You can write anything, whatever you want to like, you want to write. So in the system.out.println, I have just written this is private constructor called. You can write any message. Okay, and what I will do in main method, I will create an object of this particular class. New is a keyword, and is this side of the class is called a constructor itself. Okay, this is the name of class. So you are creating the object this particular class. What I will do in the system.out.println syso, here you will write and shift print backspace you will use. So I'm going to write the value of I told you this is the concatenation operator you are using as a plus here. So what it is, the integer type, it is a instance variable. Which type of variable it is? Instance variable. It is not a static variable. If it will be static, directly you can call without creating any object. Also you can create by calling you by your class name as well. So this is the instance variable. Okay, so basically this is the instance variable and it is not a static type. So you have to call by object. So obj is a reference variable you have used, and I so this is you have used. So what I will do, I will try to compile this code. Okay, what will happen? Right click, and run as Java application. It will print the value of I. Okay, so in this example what I did, we have created a constructor name cons non argument, because this is my class name. The constructor does not accept any parameter. This is the default constructor, default or non argument constructor we have created. That's why I will say non argument constructor. So you are not provide any parameter here. So this is why that's why it is a non argument constructor or non parameterized constructor also you can say. So basically we have declared the constructor as private. This is the main topic we will be discussing here. So you can see, you can note it down and you can notice these things. We have declared the constructor as a private. Once the constructor is declared private, that means it cannot be accessed from outside the class. Listen, so whenever you are creating a constructor as a private, what does it mean? It means you cannot access from outside the class. You cannot access that particular constructor from outside the class. Means इस क्लास के बाहर आप इसको यूज नहीं कर सकते. So creating object from outside the class, so creating object from outside the class is prohibited using the private constructor. You cannot use, if I will write the class name non argument and in another class I will create, there I will be using the public static void main, and in that particular class I will create the object of this private class private constructor class. So that will not be acceptable. So here we are creating the object inside the same class. This is the reason your program is able to access the constructor. Okay, so if we want to create an object outside the class, then we need to declare the constructor as public. We need to declare constructor as public. I will show you how it will work. Okay, so here I will close this. Okay, this class is over here and I will going to create a new class. Okay, I will going to create a new class. You can change this class and main method. You can, this is the name, cons 1. This is my first class, and here I'm going to write this is the class. Okay, and in this class I'm going to write this main method. What will happen actually, this is my class name. See this example I'm modifying in this class only. So यहाँ पे भी you will write the cons 1. Okay, so here you are trying to print this message. You have creating this non argument. Okay, so here in this class you are creating the object. So anything, if you are using the name id, कुछ भी आप use कर रहे हैं, but the constructor is private. So itself in Eclipse id it's saying created field type const argument, the constant type is argument. So वो बोल रहा है आपको कि ये आप यूज नहीं कर सकते बिकॉज ये आपका यहाँ पे है. अभी हम आपको उसको एग्जीक्यूट करा के दिखाते हैं. आई विल एग्जीक्यूट दिस कोड सो यू विल बी एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड द डिफरेंस. एरर आएगा, वी नो दैट. सो व्हाट इज द एरर? लेट्स सी. I cannot be resolved for it's not a field, unresolved compilation error. Okay, so what I will do, I will make this private No, I did some mistake. I will show you. This class name is cons1. So I will going to create the object of the class cons1. Yes. Okay, I'm creating this class object outside the class. So this class, you have written a class cons1 and the private constructor. Here I am creating the object of this particular class and I will execute it again. So the error constructor cons1 is not visible. ये visible नहीं है इसके लिए because ये private है. अभी हमने क्या करा, इस क्लास का ऑब्जेक्ट क्रिएट करने से पहले हमने इसको क्या बना दिया, पब्लिक. सो अभी पब्लिक बना दिया तो देन व्हाट विल हैपन, एंड दैट क्लास you can access this constructor. So what is happened, you can create the object of outside the class. If your constructor is private, you cannot access outside the particular class, but if it is public, you can access at another class as well while creating the object of your main class. Got it? So this is the difference. Parameterized constructor I have already covered. Like you have created here also, I will create this parameter and directly you will call in a parameter constructor. So that is covered in last lecture. So the private things it was pending, that I have written here. Okay. So I hope this concept is clear to you. Okay. So I will explain you few things. So basically the default constructor, if you are not initialize any value, so by default constructor will invoke if you are not having any constructor in your class. What it does, it will do initialize your instance variable value based on the data type. Suppose you have data type integer I and you written the name string name and you are not initializing the value of these and you are trying to print those value. So by default, based on your data type, it will initialize that particular value if you are not even creating the constructor. By default, it will create while you are creating the object of the particular class. So here boolean, I am telling you some default value, you can note it down. Type boolean. Boolean always default value will be false. Byte will be 0. Short 0. Integer 0. But if it is long, that value default value will be 0L. Character. Unicode system. I hope you remember I covered this lecture as well. Character in Java, it is 2 byte because of Unicode system, and here you used to write \u and 4 times 0. Float, it's 0.0f. This is the default value. Double 0.0d. An object, whatever the object you are creating, that will be the reference value will be null. So that you can remember. These things I have covered in the last lecture as well, but here I just revise purpose I have told you. Here we will be writing in notepad if needed. Here I'm going to explain you little bit about the important concept in Java constructor. Basically, multiple times I have covered this and I have told you constructor are invoked implicitly when you initiate the object. That means whenever you are creating the object of the particular class, by default a constructor will execute, will call, and it is used to initialize the value of instance variable if you are having in your class. Explicitly, you cannot write return type of the particular constructor. Okay, in this example you can see what I will do. Here I didn't initialize the value of this I. Okay, and I will execute this run as Java application. The value of I is equals to 0. Even if I am not having this constructor, okay, I have created the object of particular class and run it again. So the value of I is equals to 0. Means by default a constructor will invoke that is used to initialize the instance variable value. Instance variable are those which is declared inside the class but outside any method if you have in your class. So based on your data type, it will initialize the particular constructor instance variable value. Got it? So basically, there are two rules for creating a constructor. You remember. First, the constructor name should be the same as your class name. The second, a Java constructor must not have return type. This is the interview question. Definitely interviewer will going to ask. Doesn't matter you are having the 3 years, 4 years, 5 years or 10 years of experience. And if you are a student, definitely this question can be asked in your exam. What is the constructor, type of constructor you can mention there, and the write one example for that, differentiate the different type of constructor. So if a Java does not have a constructor, the Java compiler automatically create a default constructor during runtime, as I told you. So the default constructor initialize instance variable value with based on your data types you have used. Like in this example, I have used integer I, means by default the I value will be 0. Similarly, if I will be writing a string name and I will try to print this is name, so what will be the value of this particular name? Plus, and I have written the name is equals to, in double quotes may I will be writing name plus what is my variable name, but I didn't assign any value here. Okay, so obj.name. Okay, so what I will do, I will recompile this code, and what will happen, the value of name is null. So based on your data type, it will return that particular value. And the constructor type, as I have explained you in this session, there are three types of constructor. Copy constructor bhi hota hai, but we will discuss later. Right now focus this base: non-argument constructor, parameterized constructor, and default constructor. Non-argument constructor or non-parameterized constructor is a constructor that does not accept any argument, that is called non-parameterized or non-argument constructor. The second is parameterized constructor, means a constructor that accepts arguments, it is called a parameterized constructor or with argument constructor. Default constructor, a constructor that is automatically created by the Java compiler if it is not explicitly defined in your code. So these all are the things which we have covered. Most important note you should be remember. You can write down as a note. This is very important line. A constructor cannot be abstract or static or final. You know the why? Because if it will be final, you cannot change the value of it. And while you are creating the object by default, always the constructor will be called if you are whenever you are compiling your code. So this is the reason constructor cannot be final. Static भी नहीं हो सकता है, because initialization के time पे you have to create the object only. That time it will be called static. Memory save के लिए use होता है. We will be discussing the next topic. Abstract भी your constructor cannot be abstract. So a constructor can be overloaded but cannot be overridden. I have already covered in the last lecture constructor overloading. A constructor can be overloaded but cannot be overridden or override, जो भी आपको लिखना है. Okay, so you have to be remember these two important things about the constructor. Okay, I hope the concept is clear to you. If you are having any doubt, you can mention in a comment. I will feel free to reply and trying to resolve your doubt. Okay, next we will be discussing about the this keyword. This is a very important keyword. We always use this in with constructor. In the last example, while I was creating the parameterized constructor, I have created two instance variables, then two different parameter, and I was trying to access those values. But if we use this keyword to specify the variable of the class, so आपका that will be useful and it will save your variables. You no need to declare 4 variables just to access 2 values. Okay, so this is the use of this keyword that we are going to discuss about in the next series. Not next series, in the next lecture. Okay, so first we will be discussing about the this keyword. what is the this keyword in Java. The next topic, I will creating a new file, and here I'm going to write the definition about the this keyword. This keyword is used to refer to the current object inside a method or a constructor. This is the definition. This keyword is used to refer the current object inside a method or a constructor, you can say. For example, I will create one example and I will show you how. Meanwhile, you can note it down this. So basically, this keyword is used to refer to the current object inside a method or a constructor. Okay. Here, I'm going to create a new class. That class name is this key. Word लिख लेते हैं. Main method. So here, I have created one variable. My variable name is where. I have created one constructor. This is my class, and constructor name should be same as the class name. Inside this, I have created one more variable. This is my variable. Basically, what constructor does? It is used to initialize the instance variable value. It is used to initialize the instance variable value. What is it? Instware. So this constructor, while you are calling this constructor, you will pass the value that will be the instance variable, this instance variable value, and it will store in this variable. Okay. What I will do here, I'm going to create the object of this class, new object. So I need to pass one parameter here. This type of parameter, integer type of parameter, I have passed as 10. Now I'm going to print this system.out.println, and I have printed reference is equals to, I mean anything you can write, plus obj. This I have written here. So whatever the object will be printed here. So now I will calculate this, and I will run Java as application. So I have printed the object. What I have printed? Object, not value. So you can see it is printing some object here, com.neopack something. And इस पे हम बाद में आएंगे. First I will explain you these things. So here you have created one variable where and one more variable here. So there, to access this particular value, if I am going to print here one more variable, I want to explain you those things, दोनों value. Where is equals to plus obj dot where, and I will run this. So value is equals to 10. Okay, but here I have printed this object. So you have to understand the two things. If you are confusing now, so for now, forget about this. I am trying to explain you, while you are using this variable in the constructor, when you parameterize, but you are writing the two different value, variable here, while you can use the same where here as well. Only you have to use this dot where is equals to where. The meaning of this, if you will be writing where equals to where, that will be wrong. But if you are using this dot where, that means this dot where means a current instance object. So while the object will be creating, so it will show you, it will assign the value of the current of the object. So you have to be remember these things. So अब हम बात करते हैं दो वैल्यू प्रिंट कराने की. If I want to print in this constructor, you can see this reference is equals to, and here in double quote, and you will be writing the plus sign. Definitely you are going to write the plus sign, that is for the concatenation operator, and you are going to print this. Okay, and in this line Here I'm trying to print the reference, object reference, like this. So you can see the difference, you will able to understand. Any difference? No, because this refer to the current instance object for the instance variable. So the use of this keyword. So in this example, you can understand the things. We have created an object named obj. This one. The class name is this keyword. When print the reference to the object, this one, and this keyword of the class, we can see that difference of both obj and this is the same. That means this is nothing but the reference to the current object. That means this is nothing but reference to the current object. This is, you have to remember, reference to the current object. Got it? Use of this keyword I have already covered. If you are creating, there are various situations where this keyword is commonly used. Basically in Java, it is not allowed to declare two or more variables having the same name inside a scope, class scope or method scope. However, instance variable and parameter may have the same name. The example in front of you, I have created one variable as a var. Inside here, if you are getting var, you have to use this. If not, you have to create the different variable here as a parameter. Okay. So this is the use of this keyword. Next, we have used with the getter setter also, but that I will cover later because you will be confused otherwise. So next topic is string. So basically in Java, string is a sequence of character. String is a sequence of character. For example, I will tell you here, you can write the definition also. What is a string? So a string is a sequence of characters. Like I have written hello. This is your string. But while I'm trying to write an example, the sequence of character y h, you will be going to write h, comma e, comma l, comma l, o. And we have used the double quote to be in slice or to be represent your string. If I will be declaring in Java, so that will be string name is equals to hello. So we have created a string variable name as name. The variable is initialized with the value hello. Okay. So how you will be creating a string? How will be creating a string in Java? This we will be going to cover in this coming session. Okay, this is the very small example. First I will cover, then I will cover in deep. Here new class, basic string example. मेन मेथड चेक कर दीजिए, लिखने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगा आपको. So what I did, you can remove this comment line, it is not required. I have treated one string name as first. First name I have written intelligence, and the second string I have written exchange. Now I want to print this. Simple. What you will do? Print here first and here second. Here while you are printing, this is the variable. Okay. Simple. It will give the values of this variable which you have written here. So this is the way you are creating the constructor. You are creating the string. Actually, it's not only the way. There are the multiple things. We use while creating the string. So that I will explain you. But before jumping to this deep topping about the string, I will cover little bit about that static keyword. So that will be used in my next session. So basically, what is the static keyword? So static keyword basically used in Java for memory management. And static keyword you can use with your variables, your methods, your block, and with your nested classes as well. One thing you need to remember about the static, basically the static keyword belongs to the class then an instance of the class. That means if you are creating any variable in your class as a static, so when you are going to call those variable directly, you call without creating any object first, and the second by class name also you can call. So this is about that static keyword. Wait, let me see here and let me write one definition. You can write static keyword. So what is the static keyword is? Basically you can write basically static keyword is used for memory management. In Java, static can be used with first variable, second method, third block, and fourth nested class. Okay, one note you can write it down here, that is very important. Static keyword belongs to the class. This you have to remember about this. The static keyword belongs to the class rather than an instance of the class. Now, example. If you are declaring any variable as a static, like static string name, so that is known as the static variable. A variable that is declared, इसके सामने यहाँ पे लिख देते हैं हम. A variable that is declared, any variable that is declared with or as static, it is known as static variable. Okay, so example I have written in front of you. Let's see. So the static variable can be used to refer the common property of all the object, means which is not unique for each object. Which is unique actually, which is not unique is not the correct one. So the static variable can be used to refer the common properties for all objects. For example, in your company, we are having that 500 employee. I want to record those 500 employee data. One common thing in this employee data, yeah, all employer belongs to the same company. So the company name I will declare as a static. That means it will be used only once and can be accessed 499 times. Okay, because the 501 it will hold your memory only once, but it will be shared with 499. Okay, total is 500. So the use of this static variable to save your memory. One more thing I have already explained you about, but I'm repeating again. The static variable always gets memory into the class area at the time of class loading. This is the reason you can call your static variable by class name as well. That's why the main advantage of the static variable is to save your memory, to make your program or your memory efficient. Okay, so this is about that static variable. Now I'm trying to create a particular variable and I'm trying to show you the example. Okay, so here in Eclipse ID I will create one more class about the use of static. What I will do, I will create a one variable named employee ID. Second, I have creating the variable string emp underscore name. Third, I have creating the company name. Now I have created the constructor. What is the constructor name should be same as your class name. Same, you can declare emp underscore id. You already now know about that this keyword. So those topics not complete by itself because I'm going to explain you once I will be coming in the particular topic as well. But here I have just give a hint about this so that you can it will not be a known for you as of now. So this dot you are using the employee ID is equals to emp underscore id. Okay, now I'm going to create one more method here that will be helpful. बार बार मुझे उसको डिस्प्ले कराने की जरूरत नहीं है, एक लाइन को बार बार डिस्प्ले हम एक मेथड क्रिएट करते हैं तो मुझे मेथड का पहले रिटर्न टाइप देना पड़ेगा. मैंने कोई रिटर्न टाइप नहीं दिया, वर्ड दिया है, मतलब इट विल नॉट रिटर्न एनी वैल्यू. हमें सिंपल डिस्प्ले के लिए चाहिए, सिंपल सा मेथड हमें क्रिएट करना है यहाँ पे. ओके, एस वाई एस ओ मुझे कुछ नहीं करना है, इस मेथड में सिर्फ प्रिंट कराना है emp id is equals to plus emp underscore id emp name plus emp underscore name. Here company name. Okay, so here you have to be write the plus sign here by default. This is for the concatenation of your variable, plus sign. Here concatenation operator हम use करते हैं, C language में it was comma. Okay, now I'm going to create the object of your class. Okay, so this is the parameterized constructor. Got it? So I have written employee ID 101, employee name Ram, comma company name Infosys. That will be string only. So double quote में हम लिख सकते हैं यहाँ पे. Same, I'm going to print all these things. Okay, so here, so name obj1, obj2, likewise obj3, and likewise obj4 I have created those variable name. I will change the id 2, 3 and 4. Here the name also I have getting here name SHYAM Sham, Ghanshyam, Mahira, कुछ भी लिख सकते हैं. So the company name I have given as a Infosys. Okay, now you will accept this. Okay. So what I'm trying to do is for now I have created these three variable: employee ID, name, company ID, and those I have run. So now you will see, so this is the instance when I will create it. So these three memory it will take. Sorry, I didn't print. I have to call the obj1 dot display. Okay, obj2 dot display, obj3 dot display your method, and obj4 dot display. Now it will print. So these are the records. Okay, employee ID 1, employee name, this employee 2, this name, it's printing this, all these things. Okay, but in that case, for 4 memory it will be creating for the company name. So here what I did, I have just written as a static, because it's common for all the employee. The company name, as I told you, the company name of the employee is common. So that is the reason I have declared as a static. When now what will be the change? Now what will be the change? So in the company name here itself I have declared as a Infosys. Okay, and what I will do, I will remove. What I will do, I will remove one parameter from here. Got it? So this is not required anymore. Now I no need to pass this, because this is 2 parameter now. So it's when I am using the static variable as your company name. Okay, now what will happen? Can I run it? Yes. The company name, it's always printing as श्याम घनश्याम. हर एक के साथ में वो नेम में मुझे कंपनी नेम भी प्रिंट करके दे रहा है, because your company name is a static I have declared. So it is always allocate memory only once and use multiple times based on your requirement. And also one more thing, if you want to change that company name, so how you will do? अभी मैंने करा कि यहाँ पे इसको कॉपी किया पे क्लास नेम को, अभी मैंने यहाँ पे आपका कंट्रोल चैट और ये मेरा कॉपी किया, नेम क्लास का नेम है ना ये आपकी ऑब्जेक्ट डॉट कंपनी नेम। पहले आपने ऊपर इन्फोसिस दिया है, मैंने अभी इसमें IBM लिख दिया। नाउ इफ यू विल रन इट अगेन, योर कंपनी नेम इज ऑल्सो चेंज एज अ IBM. That proves the static variable always gets memory into that class area. So what did happen? If you will see the diagram, I'll show you the diagram as well here. What it happens, I will show you. Here I have created one box which is having object obj1, obj2, तो दो के लिए करते हैं, and this circle I have created. Here I have written MPID and MP name. कुछ भी लिख सकते हैं आप, X लिख लीजिए, चलो इक्वल्स टू 101 लिख लीजिए। ओके, यहाँ पे आप जाएंगे EMPID 102 EMP name सपोज Y। ओके, एक मेमोरी है जिसको क्लास मेमोरी के नाम से आप बोलते हैं, उसको मैंने यहाँ पे ड्रॉ कर दिया है। ये आपका कहलाता है क्लास एरिया। क्या है ये आपका क्लास एरिया। सो क्लास एरिया में आपने क्या किया है, कंपनी नेम इनफी लिया है, ये आपका कहलाता है क्लास एरिया। क्या है ये आपका क्लास एरिया। एंड ये है आपका हीप एरिया जिसमें आप रेफरेंस के थ्रू देते हैं ऑलवेज ऑब्जेक्ट, और इसको आप बोलते हैं स्टैक। ओके, फीफो लीफो सुना है आपने, वही चीज़ है ये। अभी मैंने क्या किया है यहाँ पे, जब आपने ये obj1 रेफरेंस क्रिएट किया तो मेरा वैल्यू सपोज ये रख दिया, और जब object2 क्रिएट किया तो यहाँ पे आ गया। लेकिन ये जो कंपनी नेम है, इसको एरिया कहाँ पे मिला, क्लास एरिया में। कहाँ पे मिला है मेमोरी, इसमें क्लास एरिया में। तो ये डायरेक्टली दोनों जो है ये इसको ही बिलोंग करते हैं, क्लास एरिया को। तो जो भी वैल्यू यहाँ पे रखी होगी उसका कॉपी आपको ये प्रोवाइड करा देगा। सो दिस इज द रीजन यू वांट टू क्रिएट द ऑब्जेक्ट ऑफ ए स्टैटिक वेरिएबल, बिकॉज ये क्लास एरिया में रहेगा, ये कॉमन एरिया रहता है। लेकिन अगर आपने इसको भी रेफरेंस क्रिएट किया, इसको नॉन स्टैटिक बनाया, तो इसके लिए भी यहाँ पे एक वैल्यू जनरेट हो जाएगी, एक्स के नीचे यहाँ पे कंपनी नेम जनरेट हो जाएगा। तो उसके लिए 3 बॉक्सेस मतलब 3 ऑब्जेक्ट आपके लगेंगे। 3 ऑब्जेक्ट मीन्स 3 वैल्यू कॉल होगी। सो बेसिकली in this example you can see we have created an instance of variable named employee ID and employee name, okay, but a static variable which we have created, the name is company name. So this is the main use of this program. So this here I have shown you the example as well. So this is the example. होप आपको समझ में आएगा। हीप एरिया में जो जिसके थ्रू आप ऑब्जेक्ट क्रिएट करते हैं वो आते हैं, जो ऑब्जेक्ट क्रिएट होता है, जो ऑब्जेक्ट का नाम होता है, जो रेफरेंस का नेम होता है, दैट विल बी इन स्टैक। एंड द क्लास एरिया में हमेशा जो स्ट्रिंग होते हैं वो क्लास एरिया में रिप्रेजेंट होते हैं आपकी। उनके लिए अलग से हीप क्लास स्ट्रिंग के लिए आपके अलग से स्ट्रिंग कॉन्स्टेंट पूल होता है। क्लास एरिया में आपका स्टैटिक जो भी आपने क्रिएट किया है उनको ऑब्जेक्ट से कॉल करने की जरूरत नहीं है, डायरेक्टली यू कैन कॉल बाय क्लास नेम बिकॉज स्टैटिक ऑलवेज गेट मेमोरी टू द क्लास एरिया. So this is the difference. And whenever you are creating a variable as a static, that means it will get memory only once. If any object change the value of the static variable, it will retain its value. अगर आपने यहाँ पे इन्फोसिस की जगह IBM रखा है तो उन सब पे इम्पैक्ट डालेगा, सबकी वैल्यू चेंज होके कंपनी की क्या हो जाएगी, IBM हो जाएगी. So this is the difference. Okay. Now, if you apply the static keyword with any method, what it will happen? The second is with method. This I have covered with variable. Hope it is clear to you. If you are having any doubt, you can ask. Okay, and you can write in a comment as well after uploading this video. So now we are talking about the method. Here I told you can be variable. Variable done. Now we are talking about the method. So if you apply any static keyword with any method, it known as the static method. If you are apply static void method name like this. So when you have applied static keyword with method, it is known as static method. Okay, let's move the example. A static method belongs to the class rather than the object of a class. अभी थोड़ी देर पहले I told you if it is belongs to the class, directly you can call by the class name. A static method can be invoked without the need of creating an instance of a class. The same which I am talking about, both line are same. The static method can access static data member and can change the value of it, as you have seen here in this example. Previously the company name was Infosys, later I have changed it as a IBM. Okay, no problem. Let's move the new example. I have created a class. Use of a static method. Okay, here I'm going to use the same method, that will be fine. Okay, in this method also I can tell you the same things. मुझे कुछ नहीं करना है यहाँ पे मेथड में, डायरेक्टली इसको यूज करना है. What I did in the same example, this line which I have written here, I will remove. I will creating one more method here. The name is void, but it will be the static void company name update method. And here I have just written the company name is equals to IBM. Company name is equals to IBM. Okay, what it will do, this is the static method you have declared as a static. And what I will do, whenever you are writing this company name as a static method here, okay, so what it will do, it will change your company name as a IBM, because it was earlier कितना था आपका यहाँ पे Infosys. So here I have changed as a IBM. स्टैटिक वैल्यू प्रीवियसली कंपनी नेम कितना Infosys, अभी अपडेट होकर किसको मिल जाएगा, वो IBM को. इसको रन कराते हैं. Because you did not call this change method, that's why it will giving the same as a Infosys. But you have to change as a IBM. So what you have to do here, before that, just you will be using this class name dot your method name. Company name update you are calling. This is your static method. Now once you will be recall this method, it will change the value of as IBM. Now the use of the method is, you no need to change everywhere, just you will be writing your company name. Suppose I have written MasterCard. right here. You will rerun it again. Now all the value will be changed as a MasterCard. So this is the change of the static variable. But the static method cannot use inside or cannot use as non-static data member. Inside the static method, you cannot use directly non-static method or non-static variable. First thing. Second, this and super cannot be used the static context. So this and super directly cannot be used in the static context. If you will do so, it will give the compile time error. Okay. Also, I have explained about the main method is static, क्यों होता है, कैसे use करते हैं, these all things I have already covered. As I told you, when you are declaring your main method as a static, that means it is no need to create an object of the particular method, because if there were on a static method, JVM create an object first, then call main method, and that will lead the problem for extra memory allocation. Whenever you are trying to you are trying to execute your method, every time it will create the object, and it will happen again and again if you are running your code, similar code multiple times. So whenever, suppose I will give you an example. Suppose you have developed one software. So while you are trying to install the software, what will happen? In the background, you have seen some processes going on. So basically, when you are trying to install a Java software, any Java developed application, which application is developed in Java, any application which is developed in Java, if you are trying to install, it will be take very less time as compared to other language developed code. Because the reason is this: static main method, as I told you, if it will not having a static main method which directly called by compiler or JVM. So what it will happen, again the same file ko if you will try to call multiple times, every time it will lead and it will create the multiple object file. This is because your memory will be extra used. So this is the reason your main method is a static. Likewise, I will give you example. You are working in your laptop. You have open 10 application, but your active application is only once. Active application means that particular screen you are working on. So other will be paused. They will not take your memory in backend. Okay, in background. So this is because of JVM. And Java's main method, your main method is static. So those things I have already covered, and I have given a good example if you will see in my old video. Now, the third topic we will be moving on the static block. Two things I have covered here. One is static variable. Second is static method. Third, we are talking about the static block. So basically, static block is also the similar. If you are creating any block as a static, that is known as a static block. Basically, static block is used to initialize the static data member, and it is used to execute always before the main method at the time of class loading. The reason is because static method always get memory into the class area. This is the reason before main method it will always invoke. I'll give you the one beautiful example here. Okay. So first I will write a definition, one definition, simple C definition I'm going to write here. Okay, so I'm going to write the static block. This is used to initialize okay, and the second point, executed before the main method at the time of class loading. Okay, example, static, and this is block, something you'll be writing. This is called as a static block. Okay, cool. Now moved into the example. I'll show you the example here. I will create a new class, name as a static block. Static block example, public main method, yes I check it. एंड यहाँ पे आ जाएंगे आप. सिंपल सा है मेरा स्टैटिक मैंने लिखा है और इस ब्लॉक में आई एम गोइंग टू राइट वन मैसेज. दिस इज स्टैटिक ब्लॉक. यू कैन राइट एनीथिंग वॉट एवर यू लाइक. आई हैव रिटन दिस इज स्टैटिक ब्लॉक. Okay, and now inside this main method I am going to write one simple message. This is main method. It will prove what will call first. Cool. I'm going to compile Java application. This is static block and this is main method. तो first आपका हमेशा remember रखना static block first execute होता है. Now can we execute a program without main method? This can be the question, interview question. No, one of the way was the static block. It is possible, but we are using the Java JDK 11, so in not here it is possible. But agar if you will see the old JDK 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, so there you can use actually, because if main method is not there, so previously it can be invoked. So let's try. I am not having any main method here. राइट क्लिक एंड रन. कॉन्फ़िगरेशन ही नहीं आ रहा है, इक्लिप्स में पॉसिबल ही नहीं है, सो इसमें पॉसिबल नहीं है. सो बट मेन मेथड शुड बी देयर. बट दिस क्वेश्चन कैन बी रेज इन योर माइंड if static block is executed before main method, so can we have can we print a message without main method? So it is not possible in the latest code. Okay, if you will do by notepad, it will give you the error. So the static concept is completed here. Okay, so now in the next I have written the nested class. Okay, so nested class के केस में how you will do, you have to write your class. Suppose this is your outer class. Inside outer class you can create one more class, that is static class, and you can name it as nested. Just for example I'm giving, you can write anything, it's not similar like you can give this name. So this is the sentence. So basically, in order to declare a member as a static, we use a static keyword static before the member. When we declare a certain number of a static, as I told you, we do not have to create instance of the static because it's a static keyword. So similarly we are using this. So static class in Java can be created. The static class in Java can be created only as nested class. So you can note it down this point here. I hope you already written. If not, you guys can return. In Java, static classes can be created only as nested class. Let's understand the topic and concept. Inner class and outer class and nested class. What is these three differences? First, listen. Inner class are the classes that are non-static and nested. So inner class, those classes are non-static and nested. Inner class, एक class के अंदर एक class होता है, that is called the inner class. That can be non-static and nested call भी we can. So they are written inside an outer class, जो कि outer class के अंदर लिखी होती है. We are unable to create an instance of the inner class without creating an instance of its given outer class. This is needed when the user has to create a class, but doesn't want another class to access it. This is the reason we can use an inner class for that particular reason. Now, outer class, basically the outer classes are the classes in which nested or inner class are defined. इसके अंदर inner class और nested class दोनों define हो सकते, that is called the outer class. A nested class can be static or non-static. Remember three things. In nested class, एक class के अंदर जो class होते हैं that is a nested class. और क्लास के अंदर जो क्लासेस होती है that can be static and non-static. If it is non-static, that is nested, you can say simply. If it is static, then you can say the static nested class. So an instance of a static nested class can be created without the instance of the outer class. So whenever you are calling this particular class, you no need to create the object of that outer class. So the static member of the outer class can be accessed only by the static nested class. So the nested class can access the static variable, and static nested class do not have access to the other member of your class in closing, which means it has no access to the instance variable, means non-static variables which are declared in the outer class. Okay, let's move into the example. You will be able to understand. Okay, I'll show you one example, and using that particular example you will be able to get the clue like how you can use that one. Okay, cool. So this is the class, and I can say this is my outer class. I can say this is my outer class. रिमेंबर रखना, नाम मैंने इसलिए रखा है बिकॉज आपको ये कॉन्सेप्ट समझ में आएगा. ये मेरा आउटर क्लास है. नाउ आई एम गोइंग टू यूज वन वेरिएबल that is static character, anything you can use. Suppose I have used a grad is equals to a, simple variable मैंने यहाँ पे लिया. सिंगल कोट्स में आएगा भाई, कैरेक्टर यूज किया है तो. ओके, नाउ inside this I have used static class named as the nested. ये आपको याद रहेगा, ये nested class है. Inside nested class I have created one method called fun, and in this method I have written one variable and calling this particular plus grade. Okay, now I'm coming to the main method. So in main method I'm trying to create the object of this your outer class this is your outer class dot this is your nested class. obj is equals to new your outer class dot nested class. Okay, and now I'm trying to call the method which is name as fun. So nested class can access the static member of outer class. Here I have declared one variable private static character grade A. I can write this is the static member of the outer class. You remember static member of outer class, and this is your static class. Okay, and this is your non-static method. Don't be confused. Okay, now nested class can access the static member of the outer class. Okay, I declare as a static. So we have declared outer and nested classes. In the outer class, we have created a static member which can be accessed by the static class. As we know, static member can be accessed by the static class only. So in the main method, we have created an instance of the nested class without the instance of the outer class, or nested class is static. So what I'm trying to use is, in the class, in this outer class, I have created one variable that is as a grade A. First time try to compile this, you will understand the error. Okay, so in main method resolve compilation, the grade cannot be resolved to a variable because GRAD ग्रेड का नाम मैंने गलत कर दिया था यहाँ पे GRAD. Okay, so I can write here for you. Nested class can access the static. एरर इसलिए है क्योंकि मेरा वेरिएबल का नेम गलत था. ओके, ऑफ द आउटर क्लास. सो यहाँ पे अभी इसको रन कराएंगे MEMBER. अभी रन कराएंगे, कोई एरर नहीं आएगा, आउटपुट आएगा यहाँ पे आपका ग्रेड ए. सो दिस इज द एग्जांपल ऑफ nested class. So you should remember these things. But the question is, first of all, we don't use much the static class, but interviewer can ask you why we use static classes in Java. So basically in Java, the static keyword helps in the efficient memory management, as I told you multiple times while using the static concept. We can access the static members without creating an instance of a class. We can access them simply by using their class name. Also, a way of grouping class together, an instance of a static nested class can be created without the instance of the outer class. So that's why we use the static class in Java. Got it? So what I have explained you will conclude this. So static class in Java is a nested class that it does not need to reference of the outer class or no need to create an object of outer class. Static class can access only the static member of its outer class. Third, static class cannot access the non-static member of the outer class. Fourth, inner classes can access the static and the non-static member of the outer class. Fifth, we can create an instance of the static nested class without creating an instance of the outer class. And last, the static keyword helps in a memory management. And the topic is over. I hope this is understandable for you. If you are having any doubt, you can write in a comment. And if you are new, kindly subscribe my channel. Thanks for watching. In the next session, we will be discussing about the new topic in depth, that is this keyword. Okay, thanks so much for watching.